Hey, Julian, welcome back to the podcast. I believe the government think that everything's rosy, but hospitality in your world is down by 33%. So why is nobody building restaurants?
Yeah, yeah. If you look year on year, our workload hospitality is down 33%. It's a perfect storm at the moment. You're looking at energy prices increasing, general overheads going through the roof. In that respect, food prices have gone up. Um, the reason for that, you can argue in different ways. We won't
Right.
get into that at the moment, but the food prices have gone up. Staff, again, a lot rarer. Traditionally, if we're looking at trained staff or staff that really wanted to engage in the hospitality industry, we're not seeing those people through because, again, that word beginning with B, and I will blame it. And lastly, people in the general public aren't using restaurants on that occasion as much as they did before, probably 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
It's becoming much more of a special occasion rather than a general drop in. When I talk about that, I'm talking about the sort of mid-level restaurants as much as the high end and that sort of thing. It's becoming more of an occasion to go to a restaurant rather
Right.
than probably a 2 or 3 times a week occurrence.
That sounds to me like we've almost gone full cycle because when I was a kid, it was we went to a restaurant for an occasion, and I suppose over the last up until let's say the C word, up until COVID, I was eating out, easily 3 or 4 times a week, and now it's COVID hit. Obviously, the B word, which I'll let you introduce, and then we've got this readjustment again. And so, where's it all going?
I think in time things will settle down again
Yeah,
and move forwards. There'll be a readjustment in the market. We're beginning to see new restaurants with our clients moving forward again. We're taking instructions. Things taking a lot longer and certainly being reevaluated a lot more.
okay,
Um, Maybe than the levels of the valuation that you would have had 3, 4 years ago, even. Um, Post COVID, there was a big pent up um, need, if you like, for
mm,
people to get out, and
yeah,
with that there was a big pent up need for new units. The sort of things that we're seeing now with owner occupiers or the bigger brands, if you like, not the franchise but models, but some of the other bigger brands, is that we're seeing people now coming back and considering. But what we're looking at is 2025
right,
accounts rather than 2024. Um, we've had new instructions through today, but that'll be for next year's accounts,
right,
and with that we're worked through. But what it actually means to us is the certainly in the shorter term, we've got to fall back on some of our previous strengths and other areas of working that we're looking at. So what we're seeing is, yes, hospitality's down as 33% of our workload, but that means that we're probably doing we're doing more in health, we're doing more in residential work, we're doing more in what I would term community work as a proportion of our overall. Even things like retail's up.
right, okay,
Um, and that's been quite a hard market for us for a number of years. But that element or and sectors of works comes through and increases as a proportion of our overall work. Now our turnover has dropped slightly, but it's held to a level that it's still probably where it was 4 or 5 years ago.
gotcha. Because my question was going to be, if hospitality's down, has anything gone up? What are the percentages like?
Yeah, yeah. Well, health's up 9% for me.
Okay,
Retail's up 4%. Residential's up 10%. Community's up 14%. There's 4% of other in terms of types of things that we do. So we're spending our time looking at the hospice wards and
okay,
and, and things like that, which
yeah,
I find quite rewarding.
yeah,
We're spending our time working in community stuff, which is council, that sort of type of work. There's certainly more prevalence of that sort of thing on our radar for what we're trying to do. Um, if you look as an actual service as an overall, Standalone QSing's up 9% of
Right.
what we do. Combined services are down 8%. That's the sort of balancing factor. Standalone PM's down 1%. So it works through.
So with that, is that just you, or is that the industry? How are other people in your world getting affected?
When I talk to other consultants that we work with,
Yeah.
designers, structural engineers, people like that, yes, they're affected. They're all working out what their best markets are for them at the moment. I think if even within hospitality, if you look, there's a move towards hotel fit out,
Okay.
and that side of things. So whether it's hotel entrances, hotel bedrooms,
Mm.
conferencing, that sort of thing, there's a move into that market, and there's still a level of workload in the other areas of hospitality, but it's probably diluted a bit. And other people look to move abroad. When I say move abroad,
Right.
look at foreign work and that
Okay.
sort of thing. And there is some bits and pieces of that. Reading recently, a lot of the really good joiners and that we work with, I've seen that they're sending their joinery out to Holland and places like that,
Okay.
to capture work. So that there is a move in that way.
Yeah.
Um, I think it'll weed out some of the weaker practices and
Right.
consultants and
Yeah.
contractors in that respect. But at the same time, we're consolidating as we move through. I think when we look forwards and
Mm.
into sort of next year, year after, year on year, we've always been about 60, 70, 80% hospitality. And I think
Okay.
we'll get back to that level.
Yeah.
But it'll take a year or two to actually get back to that. Education is a target sector for us this year. We've got 2 or 3 jobs on in the educational sector. We'd look to increase that and do that more. Um, the community type work is a target sector for us.
Yeah.
Working locally, working within our community with the councils and that sort of thing, looking at some of their work in what they do. Um, that's really where we're at this year, and I think others are probably following a similar path.
So how long have Julian Church been sort of alive, if you will? How old's the business?
We're 23 years on now.
Okay.
We formed in 2001,
You look
so
fabulous
we're
for it,
23.
mate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
because my question is going to be is, have you seen this pattern before so you can almost predict what happens next?
We've been through 2 or 3 cycles.
Yeah.
You look at 2008. That
Yeah.
was quite hard at times. You learn ways to cope. You learn ways to come through. As I say, our actual turnover hasn't suffered as much as it might have done.
Okay.
We've been quite strong in that
Yeah.
respect. But it's a case of we bed down, and when we look, there might be political change this year. We're
Yeah.
told there's a general election coming, um, and with that, that'll bring a different mindset into the different areas.
Mm.
It should bring more work into the community. I think you will see increased educational spend. I think
Yeah.
you will see spend across health as well increasing in terms of the actual facility. So they're things that we will consider and have the expertise and knowledge of and already working within.
Yeah. And you've got some great experience and you've seen those figures rise, suppose like, tens and 9% as it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
They're rising. What we've got to do is consolidate and increase the turnover. We might, while maintaining those as percentages of what we do.
gotcha. So what jobs are you enjoying in those sectors at the moment? You mentioned hospices a moment ago.
Yeah, we're working in St Joseph's Hospice again up at Hackney.
Right.
Second time that we've done a ward up there. It's, I think, appreciated by the client
Yeah.
in what the end product is. In fact, they're actually happier with this one than they were with the one before, and they were happy before. So
Okay.
I think it's great for the patients, and they've got a wide catchment area. Most of North East London, effectively, is coming into that area,
Gotcha.
into that hospice, or is it, if you like, the actual out the way the hospices operate is changing. Whereas
Yeah.
when we did that ward 4 years ago, it was very much centred on how many beds can we get in and that sort of thing. This is more
Right.
about respite care and that sort of thing now,
Yeah.
with a changed model, actually treating and caring for the people actually within their housing, within their actual community.
Right. Okay.
And
So
that's
what? Well,
it's great to see that and actually get that feedback and
yeah.
actually speaking to the staff there, and how things have changed for them and what we're doing.
So with the drop in hospitality industry, and then you've got this I say spike for want of a better phrase in community and what have you. Where do you want to go in the future? Where's Julian Church going in the future?
I think we'll always be aligned to the hospitality industry
Yeah.
in what we do, and it should always be a very large, significant, proportionate percentage of our workload. Um, if it's still 25-30% of our work done in the last year,
Yeah.
depending what you classify within that, but it's still
Okay.
there. It needs to double again. But with that, I think that's there. But I think, I'd look to work within health. I'd look to work within education. We're doing special educational needs schools at the moment,
Right.
and that's it's a nice rewarding actual product at the end of the
Yeah.
day, because we're actually bringing people in where there's a need, and councils are crying out for this facility
Yeah.
from people like our client. So if we can work with them and help provide that and implement
Mm.
designs to actually provide those services, then we're actually helping those communities as we go out there.
Fabulous. Julian, how's best to get hold of you if we've got these type of establishments who are needing your support?
I'm always available on my email,
Yep.
Julian at jca-ltd.co.uk. You can always find us through the website. You can find us through socials. Um, Pick up a phone as well. My mobile's over everything we do. My landline's over everything we do. Just pick up the phone and talk.
Let's go old school. Julian, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Speak soon.